Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Wordness to the Nerdness podcast, show where nerdy guys dive headfirst into the history of video games, movies, TV, everything else in the nerdy universe. Podcast services worldwide. I found one we didn't have last week, and that's on there now. So if you listen on Stitcher, it's there. I got it on there for you guys, you know? I know you're begging for it.
Nice.
And also visually now on YouTube, if you want to check out our unsexy mugs. That was a typo. I meant to say unsexy mugs. But
Edit.
Yeah.
Anyway, I am Nathan Groh, and I am joined by, I don't got any crazy names for y'all today. I'm joined by the one, Sean Mahoney.
Hey.
The delivery man this week, bringing us the hot fire, Curtis Potter.
Hey, what's up?
And my favorite waifu, Sam Benny. Waifu, whatever. Waifu, tomato.
I may have misspelled it, but
It's all the same. It's all good though.
Does that mean I'm confirmed as Group 2 best girl?
Hell yeah.
sure.
Wordness to the Nerdness' best girl is
Don't
me.
tell
Guy.
Simone or Holly.
It's a
I'm
trap.
getting a
Yeah,
pillow
don't
with
tell them about
on
this. This is let me have this. Don't tell them.
Well,
Let me have this.
It's all I got. I don't have anything else.
We're gonna get an award, made up for you and everything.
yeah.
Please.
So for some of you guys that have been listening and don't know, we are actually I don't know if I should say this. I guess it doesn't matter because I'm sure they'll catch on it. But we are a week ahead now. So by the time you hear this, a week has passed. So I kind of want to do some future proofing on some of this stuff. Like maybe one of these days we'll predict the future. Like, oh, wasn't that crazy that California finally had an earthquake that separated the state from the continent? That was nuts that happened this week.
Right.
Or
I can't believe that.
You
or
could just go generic. I can't believe that storm hit that one place.
Oh,
or
man.
a hurricane.
Wow, you guys are really enjoying Borderlands 3 right now, aren't we?
Yeah. Borderlands.
The game's pretty good.
I've been playing so much of it. I don't want to give any spoilers, but it's up there with my game of the year for sure.
Yeah. I really like the borders in there, but the lands are pretty good too.
Yeah. I was more of a number 3 type of guy.
Yeah. No, the 3's good too. But,
And rest in peace to the Bachelor in Paradise who was stabbed. That was crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude, that was nuts.
That was
Saw
rough.
it coming though. I saw it coming.
Yeah.
Stabbed by a stiletto.
Well.
Hard way to go out.
Right?
Yeah.
Well,
So
at
how was everyone's week?
least that new trailer in Death Stranding was good. So.
And it made sense.
And it made sense finally.
And gave lots of gameplay.
Yeah. Showed way more than just walking. It was awesome.
Way more than walking and peeing. So we got all the goods. I think we covered it. I think that's future proof now.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
For sure.
Oh shit. No, but yeah, Curtis asked, how was the week?
Oh,
Week's been
how's
good.
everyone's weeks going?
Week's been good. I finally watched Brightburn, which is that scary movie where if Superman basically was bad. It was like a whole take on that.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Pretty gruesome. There was some nasty stuff in there.
There's some
but-
crazy gore in that movie.
Yeah. You
If
did
you
watch
enjoyed that, man, you gotta watch The Boys if you haven't.
it? That is true.
Oh, I do have
The
to watch
Boys
that.
Absolutely.
is really good. It's
Everyone says
really
that.
good. It's on Amazon.
Yeah, definitely
I
worth
gotta
watching.
watch.
Dude, Brightburn and then Booksmart. I watched both those this weekend. Booksmart was funny. I will give it was a funny movie, but I think the biggest problem is it kept getting compared to Superbad, and I felt Superbad was better, you know? It's like everyone's like
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it's like Superbad but so much better. I was like, "Oh man, now the bar's real high
Why
because
say
I
that?
love Superbad."
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
you're
why
just
say
fighting
that?
Yeah.
Is that the one with the kids and they're like, oh my god, my babysitter's having a party?
Yeah, no. Well, it is the kids, and there is a party, but it's not a babysitter. It's
There's
Yeah,
always
whatever.
kids in a party.
it's
That's
the one
the
that
only thing you need to know about these movies.
And it's
yeah.
like, sex is cool. Sex things, awkward.
dude, let's lose our virginity.
I'm young, but I know sex stuff.
instead
and I
of
don't.
instead of like following two guys, it's following
Relatable.
two girls that are like, I mean, they're kind of like the same, but there are definitely some very funny moments in it. But they're trying to get a party because they, like, the whole premise of it is like they're both really smart and they both like didn't party or do a lot of regular high school stuff because they were so worried about getting into like really good colleges, and so they both are going to Yale, and they're like making fun of like all the other kids that are like, you know, the jocks that are attractive and they do all this stuff, but at the same time like they're like, oh well, they're not going to any good college. And so at the end of the year, it's like it somehow came out. It's like, well, what college are you going to? It's like, well, I'm going to Yale. And the other guy's like, well, I'm not going to college, but like I got a job with Google, you know, coding right out of school. So it pays like pretty good 6 figures. So I'll be all right. And these are all like the idiots. And so she's like freaking out, like asking all these people what schools you're going to. And they're all going to really good colleges. So they're like, we fucked up. Like, we didn't party like the rest of them, but they're all going to the same college. Like, we did it wrong. So they really want to party. And that's like the whole premise of the movie, that you want to have a crazy party night and experience all, like, cram in years worth of high school parties in one night. So.
This is definitely not the movie I was thinking of.
I just realized I'm on Wi-Fi. I'll be right back.
Oh,
You
big
dingus.
rips, you ding. That's all right.
Reported.
Well, we can talk about Sam now that he's not here, because that's the rules.
Yeah, can
Oh,
you
thank God,
believe
yeah,
that that thing he did with the
Yeah.
other thing?
Dude,
Oh,
this guy.
the movie I'm
Until he
thinking
comes
of is
back.
called Good Boys.
Yeah, that one's in theaters now. Maybe not when this comes out, but it was in theaters recently. That was a Seth
Allie
Rogen
thought
one.
This like looked hilarious, and I thought it looked like absolute shit. Like it's stupid.
Visually,
Sam
I am
thing.
not sure what is going on.
Fucking savage.
I have no idea.
I think he was doing like a battle
Superman
roll
on
or
the
something.
bed. He's like, oh, I see a butt crack.
Oh my goodness. I just see
You
Sam.
better leave this in.
Oh, for sure it's gonna be that. I just see Sam like dive into the bed and seemingly get nothing. Like he's like caught in imaginary sheets.
I thought he was doing like one of those rolls like over the hood of a car. Unnecessary.
Like Duke's ass. Like,
Yeah.
with the Ethernet cord. Like,
Oh god, that was a close one, guys.
Yeah.
you just made it.
What just happened? What did you forget or lose in your bed?
Oh no, nothing. I was just getting away from the mind goblins that live in the other room.
Oh,
I
gotcha,
hate when
They
gotcha.
that
had they had my Ethernet cable. I had to get it back.
Ooh,
Son of a
Oh,
Yeah.
sons of bitches.
classic.
son of a.
You know what? We made
Ooh, I'm out
a
of breath.
grave mistake today. So if you're watching this visually, you know what this is. And I guess if you read the podcast before you play it, you'll know what it's about.
Read the
But,
podcast?
well, I mean, read the header.
Title.
You know, the title of the podcast.
Oh yeah.
The
yeah.
title? Oh,
Thank you.
yeah, that's
I'm
right.
not-
There's titles on these things.
It's been a long day.
Yeah.
But, Curtis,
I'll
take it away.
read the podcast. Let's do it. Let's do a.
It's fine.
Can we do a
Well,
parade version and send it to
I-
people's homes?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll do that. We'll do it on April 1st. So.
This is gonna get this one is gonna get Sam a little bit triggered. Maybe, I don't know. It
Yeah.
depends on
This
on
one
how
is- this
Curtis wrote it.
It's a sore subject for you, Sam, but
Yeah.
perhaps we can show you the way to come over to the good side, you know. The side that doesn't like loot boxes. That's right.
Thanks.
We are-
I'm glad someone's looking out for me.
We are talking about loot boxes tonight. Love them or hate them, they seem like they're here to stay, or are they? Tonight we're going to dive into the origins and future of loot boxes. So, if you don't know what a loot box is, for
You're
like
living under a rock.
there's a couple different definitions. I guess the one that we commonly go for is it's an item in a video game that you can unlock for gear, skins, and other stuff. But there's like some that you just earn in game by playing the game, and it's like opening up a present of random crap. Some loot boxes are more like a locked crate that you earn in the game, and then the game makes you pay money for a key, so they can monetize off that. Some games straight up make you pay money for a loot box with real money or buying in-game currency, whatever. Digital card games call them booster packs. So a lot of these have their origins from like early free-to-play mobile games, and I feel like,
if I can add real quick in here, is like I always, every time I talk about loot boxes, it always ends up going down into microtransactions. And like, even though the loot boxes and microtransactions are tied together, obviously pay real money and it goes into it. This isn't about microtransactions. It's not what you would get in Fortnite, where yeah, it's crazy you spend $20 on a skin, but at least you're paying exactly, you know exactly what you're getting when you pay for it. This is different. The whole loot box scandal is you're gambling. Maybe it's $1 per box or whatever you're getting in it.
I wish.
But, yeah, or exactly $5 for whatever it is, but it's just, you don't know what you're getting. Maybe you'll get something good, maybe you won't. But I think this is specifically just tied into just the gambling aspect, where you're just, it's luck of what you get and not buying exactly what you want in the game.
yeah, exactly. And I think this really hit its peak around when companies were making you buy a full priced game and then offering loot boxes. Star Wars Battlefront 2. Like when you're having to buy loot boxes to progress in the game, that's probably a big no-no. So
if you the 2020 edition of the Guinness Book of World Records actually does have that Reddit comment in there talking about it as the most downvoted comment of all time, which
No way.
yeah, of the whole loot box
got the
thing.
spotlight,
Yeah.
man.
wow.
So they made it. They're famous.
Oh my god.
Well, and just like a little
sense of pride and
practice-
accomplishment.
Yeah, for real.
well, you know, the most beloved game developer or whatever, I guess publisher company.
Man.
But yeah, we should before we get into the history of it, I'll talk a little bit about what like a loot box does to a person's brain. To me, opening a loot box feels like you're opening a mystery present on Christmas morning, except my brain's never happy with what I get, and I want to open another, kind of thing. And
Right.
and this is like where a feedback reward circuit typically ends for most people. Like they're just like, whatever, I move on. But for some people, they're addicted to this, and they treat it like gambling almost. It's shiny coins and noises and shit go off whenever you open it. And I think it hits a lot of the spots in your brain that gambling also hits. I mean, this is very much researched and stuff. So people just want more spin, want more unlock, and it doesn't necessarily have to be paid money. This could be in the game, and it's still an addiction. So, but what do you all think about that as an addiction?
I definitely agree. It's just weird that they're putting these and like games, even though people are getting older and older and still playing them, like us, we're a prime example. We're all adults still playing games. We make money. We have a right to spend it where we want. But at the same time, like it's still advertised for kids, and so it's just making them more susceptible to like problems later in life. But yeah, it is a type of addiction to like spend a lot of money, and like it's nothing wrong with buying a loot box here and there, but it's I guess what do they call them, like the whales? Like that's where it's like you get worried because it might turn them into a whale later in life, where it's like, I make good money, I make six figures, and then for whatever reason someone spends $10,000 on a video game. Like that is unacceptable.
Well, yeah, and then you have the problem of a younger audience, that don't have a solid concept of money or how hard it is to earn it. Could take parents' credit cards or things like that and just spend it. I mean, we have a friend in our group. I'm not going to say specifically who, but his brother has a problem where he's literally taken money from him, taken money from his parents. His parents had to like block him from his credit card and would put money into his PS4 account to buy FIFA packs.
Wow.
The kid had a legitimate problem. Like every paycheck was going into FIFA. He would steal from his family.
Jeez.
Like it was bad. It's legitimate. I don't know if it's still going on, but like it's legit. That's a problem. That shouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
And this is like
Yeah.
before he was even 18, and now he's older, but I still think it's an issue.
And
Well, and I think that's why kids shouldn't go to casinos. You know, there's laws in place because
Yeah.
it shouldn't be messing with that until you have a like older brain to handle
Right.
that kind of stuff. So
yeah, I mean, because the thing is, I mean, there's no downside for a developer to make this. If they can get away with more, they would. Like, if
Yeah.
you look at mobile games are way more predatory than console games like that we're playing. I mean, it's still in there and it's still outrageous, and they're paying like $60 for it. Whereas there's like these free games that you get on your phone, but like within
It's all cooldown based and
yeah,
time.
Yes.
Or you have the Japanese gacha games where you have to roll the gacha
Yeah.
to get a certain character. And
I mean,
like,
literally-
we'll be talking about that for sure.
I've
yeah, I even play some of those, but like,
I've been caught into some of these games where a lot of these games it's like, all right, with like we need to get them to spend money within like the first 5 minutes, because like that's probably how long to spend with it. They'll play a couple games, they either like it or they don't. And so like the way they'll do it, you'll get like I've seen on some stuff, like I'll play a game, I'm like, okay, I'm having kind of fun with this, and then it's like they offer me like a crazy amount of stuff, like an absurd amount of stuff, and it's like 99 cents. It's like, oh, well, I get all this for 99 cents, no big deal. But then the next time they offer something, it's half the stuff, but it's $4.99. And then the next time they offer, it's even less stuff, you know, $19.99. And it's like, that's how you try. It's like, okay, they'll spend the 99 cents. They're probably more likely to spend more money, and then to keep just throwing more and more at you. It's crazy.
yeah, they have those monthly deals and things like that.
Yeah.
And just things to get
It's almost a challenge for me to not ever touch a dime on those things and
Yeah.
and still like beat it, you
'Cause,
know, without
yeah,
like,
I mean,
losing my life.
it's
So,
specifically designed to get you, you know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like what would you? I feel like everyone has that experience. Like, what would be your first mobile game where you've had that moment where you're like, I don't know about this.
you might buy, yeah.
Simpsons Tap Out. That was probably the
Yeah.
first one, that EA Simpsons Tap Out. I probably spent about $50 on that game over like
Damn.
2 years or something.
I think I had a similar one. It was the Family Guy Quest for Stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Yeah.
even like Family Guy that much. Like,
But you're building your city, you're putting all the stuff
Yeah.
in, like this is cool, and then
yeah,
it's like, you
it
know,
was something to do on my
$2.99 here,
phone. I go there and
$4.99
tap all
there.
the stuff,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Collect my
it's-
Man, I
things.
don't-
Oh, they got an event. You know, oh, I want to get these event buildings and these characters, and it's like,
Yeah,
oh, but it's designed where like if you're playing free to play or you don't have like a gigantic like place, good luck, you know.
exactly.
Unless you are on there 24/7, you're not getting everything, and it's designed to be that way.
Ooh.
Yeah. I can't even think of one maybe years ago, but Animal Crossing is the closest that I've come to dropping some money. Just I'm like, oh, I need that item that I'm never gonna use or
Right.
put on, you know.
Yeah, like I'll play Fire Emblem Heroes, and that's pretty scummy gotcha game for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But like,
Yeah.
I've gotten to a point in that game where like I feel happy with what I have, and I can decently get the things I need if I want them. Like, that took me a really long time to get there though, and like,
Yeah.
and I I have spent a little bit of money, but not much. Like, you know, definitely not more than 100, and like, it's rough sometimes, man. They really push you sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, especially those free ones. It's like people are like, they won't spend, because people want to try these, but they won't spend like $4.99 on a really good mobile game that's not going to shove microtransactions down your throat or loot boxes
that
down your
weird?
throat. But they won't touch it. But then they get a free to play game, and before they know it, they might spend $20 that night. You know, it's
Yeah.
just
It's weird, man. It's such a weird phenomenon, but that's because those games are built that way. If you want a really good like mobile game that you have to pay up front, probably my favorite mobile game I've ever played is Ridiculous Fishing. It's called, and it's
Yeah.
an amazing game. You pay up front and you get the full game, right? And
Right.
basically, it is like you're a guy on his boat, and you cast your line down and you try and go as deep down as possible, right? And then you either get to the end of the line or you run out of like gas, and then it starts going back up, right? And then you want to try and catch as much fish as possible as you're going back up, but it doesn't end there, right? You don't
Yeah.
actually catch the fish. It flings all the fish into the air, and then you have guns, and you buy different guns as you go along. No microtransactions. You have everything, you know? You can earn it. You just have to play the game more. And so this fish go flying in the air, and then you tap your phone or tablet, whatever, and you have to shoot the fish and blow them all up to get the actual money for it.
Wow.
And it's the most fun mobile game I've ever played. And there's like a little side story and stuff. It has like its own little like fake social media feed where like if you do certain things or catch a special fish, like people will be talking in your social media and stuff. Like it's great.
That's funny.
Ridiculous fishing. If you ever like need a good mobile game, that's a truly actually good mobile game.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts.
I'll have to check that out.
It's funny you mentioned gacha games because that's kind of that's what they consider like the root of all this. I guess in America there'd be those little toy capsule games, or not games, like like the grocery store. You put a quarter in and you get some piece of junk toy.
Ooh,
in
yeah.
a little toy capsule.
It's all from physical gambling originally.
The sticky goo hand was the best.
Yeah.
That was my shit.
So, loot boxes have their roots in MMO and MMORPG as a randomized award. So, like free-to-play games later adopted this idea, but with monetization to help pay for development costs. The first known instance of this system is supposedly the Gachapon ticket that was used in this game called Maple Story. It was a side-scroller MMORPG in 2004, and each ticket cost 100 yen, and the players use the tickets at a Gachapon game in the game. So kind of weird, but
the Gachapon is like the grocery store thing where you put the quarter in and get the goo hand.
And then there's Gachapon something else, which it's basically like you trade up all your crappy ones for like a good rare one system. I don't know if that's like a physical thing or virtual, but I don't know how to relate it. I know Animal Crossing does a version of this, but
that's how they get you.
Yeah.
Every time I'm like thinking of like Gachapon, like all I'm just thinking it's like gotcha, and then I'm like thinking like Deja Pell, like gotcha, bitch.
Yeah, it's literally
It's pretty much the same. So the next like notable thing was in 2007, a Chinese free-to-play game called ZT Online had loot boxes as part of the game system. This was put into place because many players in Asian countries couldn't afford to buy full-price games, so they couldn't afford to play it at cafes, and they couldn't afford to buy it, so they would most likely pirate the game. So they added the loot boxes to ensure that they'd still make money even if the game was pirated. And then I guess the big one that I really started paying attention, because it's probably closer to home, but in like 2009, Zynga and some of these other big names on Facebook would release games for free, but they were just slammed with microtransactions to speed up your progress.
The classic.
That farm one, Farmville or something.
That's how Mafia works.
What a terrible.
You want to know?
I think that's also the most interesting is how like mobile ads are allowed to just blatantly lie.
Right? And they're like clearly like just Chinese knockoffs. It's like League of
Instagram.
like mythics. It's like,
Instagram needs to get their shit together because you'll see the ad of a game and then like you see the comments. It's like this literally is not even in this game. Like not one part of this is in this game.
3D rendered cutscene and like all this crazy stuff going on, and then you click on the game and it's like a top-down like tapping game. You're like, what? Base builder. I'm like, huh?
The worst is the the Angry Birds ones. They have the game as the ad, so you can play the game on the ad.
Yeah.
Oh god.
All you gotta do is just download it, and you can continue.
Right into the main line.
I've seen some ads where it's like it's legit showing Pokemon gameplay, and it's like, and then it's like Pocket Monsters or whatever.
Dude, I kid you not. There's a knockoff Pokemon game, like Chinese Pokemon game, and some of the animations in that game for the Pokemon are better than the actual Pokemon games, and it's the most frustrating thing in my entire life.
Oh man!
It's called
Pokemon starts knocking off the Pocket Monsters.
So bad, man.
Dude, just a quick side note though, but Zynga, when Don Matrick left Xbox in 2013. He became the CEO there at Zynga, and he was there for like 2 years, I think. I think he left in 2015. But yeah.
Oh wow.
Just a little
Gross.
side
Dang.
note.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. I mean, it's funny how they've changed. It's more like Sam was saying, that wait, the cooldown crap, you know. Oh,
Yeah.
why wait? You could just spend some money on a loot box and speed your thing up. But
I need it.
I guess the next big one was Team Fortress 2 in 2010. And I don't know if they were the first ones. They were definitely popularized the keys to unlock crates. They eventually changed
Valve
to
very much big had to do with that stuff. Yeah.
Valve was a little shady.
We did CSGO.
They eventually went to free to play. Yeah, CSGO comes up big time. And then supposedly when they went to free to play model, the player count increased like 12 times what it was before that. And then we have FIFA with the virtual trading card system. And I figured Sam could take over this part. Let us enlighten us on how this works.
All right, boys. You want to hear a little story about FIFA Ultimate
Let's
Team?
hear it.
Yeah,
Let's hear it.
Boy.
Yeah, we do.
Tell us,
The
Papa
FIFA
Sam.
Ultimate Team is a mode where you collect cards, right? So you open these basically loot packs, right? It's a pack. You open packs. And it comes out, you know, it has the big gold burst. It's all pretty. You get all excited. And then it starts lining up your cards out in front of you. You know, flip, 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 flip. And basically you're getting players, right? And so you can put these players onto your team and then play online or play against computer opponents to get coins. And then you can use these. So this is where it gets kind of scummy. Cause like
Players like
one
LeBron
point, yeah,
James
you
and
can loot
Ezekiel
boxes.
Elliott.
Yeah, I mean, NFL, they have it too. Like
Yeah, I know.
Madden has it and everything. It's rough, man. But yeah, but here's where it starts getting worse because you have things like inform players and like team of the week players, stuff like that. So like these players are cards that are regular cards of the normal players, you know, but they're even better, right? But you can only get them through these loot boxes.
Oh my
But
God.
on the side, on top of that, there's also a market, right? A player market. And you can use the coins you get from winning matches or tournaments or things with your ultimate team. You can use these coins you earn to buy these players from other people. So you're trading these cards in between people, right? For coins.
Yeah.
So then this whole third party market of like people selling coins, you know, like you give them their money in your account. And then all of a sudden your account has all these coins, right? And
do the cards have like caps or a certain price? Like this card's worth X amount of coins, or do you set when you're trading? Do you set a price?
Set it, and then people. It used to be just totally free. Like whatever the card's price was, it would just fly way up. They've now specifically because this coin buying issue they had. Yeah. They've how they do it now is they have a set. It can still fluctuate bidding and stuff, but it has like a set max price or or a minimum price, so you can't just like give stuff away.
Yeah,
but basically, so you're incentivized to spend money on these packs to get lucky enough to get an informed player or something like that, because then you can sell it for all these coins and then buy more stuff that you want, and that makes your team better. And then when your team's better, you get more coins, and then you can trade and like. I remember I had a totally free team, played for the whole year. I mean, I played a lot of FIFA for a while. FIFA 12, I played a ton. I think by the end of FIFA 12, I wasn't that good and I didn't optimize necessarily that great. But like by the time that game was pretty much done, I think I had 2 informed players without using real money.
Oh my God. That's just
they weren't
so
good
wrong.
ones even. Like they weren't like really good players. It's scummy, man, and it feels bad and it's frustrating because you lose to these people that have these amazing teams with all these great players, and you see them and you go up against them, and then you get pissed and you want these players, so you try and get them, you know, and then the way the packs are set up, they're set up to make you excited, right?
Yeah.
And then you watch pack openings online. It's entertaining, right? Everyone watches pack openings, and like loot boxes are the same way. People just watch them, but the big difference with FIFA, what makes it so much worse, is these players that you're getting actually do change the gameplay. Because if I get Messi or Ronaldo, I have the best player in the world, and you don't. Well,
I feel
good luck, right?
I feel like
they're just draining shots from like the midline.
Yeah,
I feel like this would be a good way to like give presents to your kids without spending a lot of money. Like you get your kid like a watermelon or something, but you put it in a nice like gold box, you know, open it up, then like it's like a white cardboard pristine box underneath. They pop open the lid and then confetti shoots out and it's like, "Oh, what is it?" "Oh, it's an avocado. Thanks." You know, like
that's exactly how it feels, man. You get garbage, and they don't even like some of the players like you could put up and have them bid, but they have an option to just quick sell because you're like, yeah, I'm never gonna use this guy. Just quick sell. I don't even want to bother putting him up on the market, you know. And then you'd run up against some guy with a full bronze team of just like level 60 something players. And he'd just wipe the floor with you, and you'd get even more pissed. And the worst part is, this is probably the most fun mode on FIFA.
Right? Well, it's just so addicting.
Exactly, you know, because it's a game within a game, you know, and you're playing with other people and everything, and you're
like this buying and selling
and,
players, like that's really fun. Like that, I remember putting players up or bidding for players. Like it's exciting. You're like, I want to get this guy, and then you open the packs. And it's just awful. It's frustrating.
I was already like getting pissed with Overwatch loot boxes, and that's like, shit. It's just like skins.
Yeah, man. Yeah, if I get one,
you're like, sprays and stickers. Like, get this shit out of here.
Yeah, seriously. Cut all that out, I'd be happy.
You're trying to get this
like, you're trying to build like a sick FIFA team, and you're getting like, you know, lucky fan number 37 from the like on the stadium. You're like, what the fuck? Who is this?
I posted it in the. Sorry, a little off topic again, but I posted the Discord. It's a sport, but it's this guy. His name is Spice Adams.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
that video comes out. He's like a big guy, big chunky guy, and he's like wearing this like super high up orange shorts and his tucked in orange shirt. And like he's got on the glasses, and he walks out. He's like, running back, because like what position you play? Running back, fullback, quarterback, linebacker, offensive line, defensive line, head coach, assistant coach, and a plethora and barrage of other positions as well. And like walks away. That was so funny. That was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
He's supposed to be Taysom Hill from
Taysom Hill.
The Saints.
No.
I just a plethora and a barrage of other positions. Like
free safety, strong safety.
Free safety, strong safety. Oh god.
Dude, him as the corny captain at the end of the other one.
You guys, fatigues are something the army wears.
So cheesy.
All right, sorry. Let's go.
I guess so. Some other big ones besides FIFA, where I'll just go through them quick because there's a lot.
Okay.
But Mass Effect 3.
Forgot that game had that.
Boy, I was addicted to that shit. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
The multiplayer.
I guess I didn't play much multiplayer.
Yeah, the multiplayer, dude. Oh my god.
Yeah. SCGO, Battlefield, COD, Overwatch, Halo, League of Legends, Middle-earth, Shadow of War.
You mean CSGO? Just Counter-Strike?
Yeah.
CSGO.
Yeah.
Okay. No, you're good.
I can't type today.
No, it's good. I was like thinking, am I forgetting?
Honestly, I was like, what?
It's South Carolina.
That Shadow of Mordor one, the Lord of the Rings.
That was a big one.
That's the worst one because that's a single player game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Full price
I remember
single
that
player game with loot boxes.
That caught a lot
So
of flack.
fucked up.
Forza had it. Battlefront 2, all these Battle Royale games.
Battlefront 2 had it?
I don't know that a lot of people noticed. It was.
Yeah, I don't think it was noticed very much.
Battlefront who?
So, yeah. So this is probably like the peak of it. I would feel, because I feel like after this, well, especially with the blowback from Battlefront 2 and Reddit comment, the most downvoted. I would say that okay, so some of the games like Battlefront, Middle-earth, and Forza 7 dropped loot boxes in response. Granted, Star Wars was just a temporary one. I feel like the industry is still trying to self-correct, but we'll get into that later. And I think they're trying to figure out other ways to monetize, battle passes and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, battle pass is
Free-
definitely
that's the new
big.
Battle Pass is the new rage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think is a more acceptable form.
Yes.
Like
I
don't
just
know.
hate the
It
time
doesn't-
gating of items.
I totally agree.
yeah,
Because
The-
I don't have a problem with if you know what you're getting up front, then you can
Yeah.
decide. The loot box is
Mhm.
bullshit because you never know, and it's like you have a 0.0001% chance of getting what you want. So it's like,
yeah.
Like I get they want to get the money of people who buy all the levels of the pass,
Mhm.
but I wish I could just buy the pass and be guaranteed to have the pass forever until I finish it. Like
Yeah, that would be a good
that's how
idea.
they get you because they know you have to keep playing the game. They want you to keep playing the game. for
Well, yeah,
one.
they need players. They want an active.
Yeah,
player.
it's to keep an
Yeah.
active player base, which is
Mhm.
annoying because I want to play other things.
So probably like the most recent one right now that we haven't tested out yet, but it'll be interesting to see when it comes out. But Destiny now is offering a battle pass that's going to be in Shadowkeep. Each season is going to have a battle pass, and the problem is that there are exotics that are tied to this battle pass. And
Yeah,
if you don't get it during the battle pass, you'll be able to get that exotic later on down the road, but it won't be right away. Now, my guess is two things on this. Like either one, the exotics are going to be trash, and so people aren't really going to use them anyway. So it's like, okay, they don't have it, no big deal. It's not like anyone's using it. Or if it is good, they're going to get hell from people that don't finish it, and then that's all they're using to do it if it's like something that
Yep.
is relatively unattainable. Now,
That's what they want. They want to be
Anything-
good, so you'll
anything
buy the
even,
levels to get them early.
like
or have to
remotely
get 'em.
viable in PvP is gonna cause like mayhem.
yeah. Yeah.
But that still pisses me off less because I know those things will be available later. I think what
Yeah.
feels so bad about battle passes and like loot boxes where it's an event is it's time gated, and I know I'm not going to be able to get this for another year or ever in the case of most battle passes.
Yeah.
It just like
It's discouraging,
like
man.
imagine getting like the Mytho class when it first came out from a battle pass, and then other people couldn't have the Mytho class for however long.
Yeah.
So like you're gonna quit playing PvP after the first day when you're
Right.
like, oh, I can't get it. Like it's like great.
And I get with a
This is
game like
fun.
Destiny, it makes sense, but like I prefer if you're just gonna do a battle pass system on it, make it like some of the dopest just skins or ornaments that they have out there. Things like that, like I'm okay if it doesn't affect the game.
Yeah.
But when you put actual guns in there, that's like the one thing where it's like they say that you don't have to put in a ton of hours, and my guess is that it's probably true. I guarantee when Shadowkeep drops, we'll probably get up to like level 60 or 70 within the first couple of weeks, just like trying to grind. So
For me, it all depends how you get up in those levels, because I like it when it's just passive,
Mhm.
If you play a
Definitely.
certain amount, you get there. That's how the first Apex Battle Pass was. I enjoy that.
I bet
I hate
it's just
Challenges
similar to
help.
that.
Yeah, challenges.
Like, challenges help, but sometimes, dude, the challenges they come up with, like Gears of War right now, no more loot boxes, which is great, but the Battle Pass, the tour system they have, these challenges are ridiculous. Like, you'll get a challenge and it's like, complete 50 waves of Horde for 3 stars, which won't even get you a full level on
Oh
the Battle
my
Pass.
god.
Completing 50 waves of Horde takes like an hour and a half,
Right.
That's
depending on
ridiculous.
if you have a good team.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could play on beginner and just burn through it, but that's not.
I mean, I guess
fun.
the only other
it's-
argument I have on that is like, man, like Gears of War 5 was basically free or $15, depending on
Yeah.
which way you want to look at it. So it's just kind of like I can understand if
Yeah,
they
that's
want to
fine.
be more
That's
aggressive,
fine. No. I
Yeah,
get
yeah.
if you want to have a battle pass and everything like that. That's fine.
but it's also that
But
fine
the
line.
fact
yeah.
is, like, getting those items, like 50 waves of Horde,
It's a
to
lot.
not
That's
even
a
get
lot.
a single level on the pass is ridiculous.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's
No,
way
crazy.
too much work. It's not worth it. It's not worth your time.
Agreed.
telling you, Halo 5 had it figured out with those rec packs. They were so
Yeah, they did.
best.
Yikes, dude.
All right.
The
So
only saving grace they had is Nick Offerman did the promo video for that as Mr. Chief, and that was the best.
Nick
That
Offerman
was
is
hilarious.
So
awesome.
good. Yeah.
I mean, at least with that one, like, you weren't getting duplicates, boys.
Yeah.
I think duplicates are the most frustrating part about loot boxes.
Ooh,
Yeah.
don't even get me started.
Not Destiny. Division 2 did it right to where when you open up their loot box, like with the keys and stuff, is that you always will get something you didn't get before. So like you can basically you'll only get duplicates once you've got everything, you know, and then you get
I like that.
extra credits and stuff.
better.
That's better.
Yeah.
It still sucks, but it's better. You know, because I remember Overwatch, early on Overwatch, when I had started getting to the point where I had most of the loot pool, at least most of the whites and blues, right? And you'd get entire loot boxes that would be all duplicates, and you wouldn't get anything for money off these duplicates either. They'd give you like 15 coins and be like, "Here, go sit in the corner, you peasant."
It's
Enjoy
2,000
triggering.
2,000 coins for an exotic skin. Here's 15 coins as a duplicate. You know, have at it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Cool.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
it's
that
ridiculous.
pissed me off. It took them forever to change it out of that too. That sucked.
Yeah.
I just wanted my Farah skin from whatever fucking season I didn't get
Oh,
it.
God.
I'm not bitter
Which
at
one?
all.
Dude,
Whatever. I think the
The
Chinese New
zombie
Year one or
one?
something.
Oh,
I have the
that's
zombie
cool.
one.
where she's like the red and blue dragon one. Yeah, that shit's dope.
Maybe.
That
I think
one's
I
cool,
eventually did get it, but on the
Or the-
I feel like we have a lot to talk about.
See,
on
here we are, like, talking
No. What I'm saying is, like, I definitely want to talk more about this,
Sorry.
but let's get through what Curtis put together first, and then we'll kind of like continue to
Okay.
to wrap
I know
it up. Yeah,
we're very passionate about it.
we're getting close though. We're getting
It's
close.
fun to talk about, man.
It is. I know. I want to continue to talk about it, but Curtis spent a lot of time putting this
That's
together,
fine.
so I want to make sure he gets through
Fair
it
enough.
first.
Oh, no worries.
Fair enough.
Girl's fault.
But we did talk about whales earlier, so I'll get into that a little bit more. So with loot boxes, I kind of touched on this a little bit, but they what they do to our brain is this thing called a compulsion loop. And the compulsion loop is a habitual chain of activities that will be repeated, basically like a reward feedback thing. Like, ooh, this was fun to open. Here's a little dopamine, you know.
Mhm.
You should do it again, you know, brain. Like, keep doing it. So they're deliberately used in video game design to keep people playing over and over. And many people avoid getting hooked, but some people get an addiction so bad that they're known as whales. And whales are the people that spend large amounts of money on virtual items. They usually bring in the most money, and a lot of these companies are dependent on them. Loot boxes are enticing to developers because someone who's going to buy the game or is going to buy the game in item. I can't speak.
Yeah.
But this also leads into like a larger topic of what addiction actually is. It's not necessarily just gambling, you know, like I myself have been like addicted to, grind through something to get something, you know, that's an addiction, trying to just get that loop, even though there's no money or gambling involved. Oh, and like we were talking about, Overwatch was well known for their cosmetic only loot boxes, and it was kind of more accepted, but people may spend hours and hours grinding for the lowest percent of a chance to get whatever item they want, myself included. So yeah.
We've all been there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Did you happen to get a percentage of the people that they need to spend money on a free-to-play game with like either microtransactions or loot
that's
boxes?
a good one.
So
Not
didn't,
very
but-
high.
it's not very high at all, and this was, I either read this in an article or heard it in another podcast, and so I don't take this as fact, but I remember them saying that the game is built so that if 2% of the player base spends money on the game, then they will be profitable for that game. That's all they need to get, which is an insanely low amount. But with 2%, there's so much room to grow, and that's why it's been getting so predatory over the years. Because who knows? That was back in like 2010, maybe. But who knows what that number is now? Maybe now it's like we need 15% to do it.
Oh, I'm
You know?
sure.
So if it just keeps going up,
and that's the thing though. Like you look back, and like, don't you find it weird? Like back in the day, if a microtransaction would be I spent $10 to $20 for like 4 maps on Call of Duty, fully made maps, playable, can do all this stuff on them. Now they want you to spend $20 to open a box to have a chance at getting that skin you want.
Right.
Can you imagine a chance of getting the multiplayer map? $20 for the chance to get the multiplayer map. Nope, sorry, you got a map you already had.
Yeah.
You can't play with your friends. You can't play with your friends because you don't have that map. Sorry. If you get the loot box, maybe you get a chance of getting it. We're giving them ideas. We need to keep it down.
I know, right? Oh, do you want to play level 5? That's a loot box.
Just buying the game is a loot box.
Could you imagine Destiny in a few years? Like we get to the final raid boss, and then it just like the game pauses for all of us, and we have to like spend like $2.99 to continue on. We or we finish the boss, and then it's like $2.99 to open up the chest afterwards to get the loot.
Oh my god!
Yeah, you have to buy a key to open the chest,
or spend 20 masterwork cores.
No.
Yeah.
Oh god. Life would be
Well,
bad.
that's the problem too with some of these games is, like Sam said, they want you to spend a ridiculous amount of in-game currency that's really rare, or you could just pay $1. You know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They make you weigh that choice to make you feel like real money has less value than this currency because you worked harder to get this currency than that actual real dollar that has real value in your hand.
Well, here's a perfect example of it. Of like when you spend just a little bit amount. It's kind of like you're on a diet, and this is something similar to what I'm doing right now. But you're on a diet, and there's a bowl of chips in front of you, and you're like, nope, can't touch it. I'm on a diet. I will not touch that. But it's like it's so tempting, and that's the jalapeno kettle cooked chips. Like, oh, that's my favorite. All right, I'll just have one. You get that one there. But then it's so much easier to be like, okay, I had one, I can have 2, you know. And then before I know it, the entire bowl's gone. I poured the second bowl, and now the whole bag's gone, you know. That's what they want. It's just like it's so much easier. Like once they can get you one time, they know that it's a lot easier to get you more. That's just kind of how it goes with this. They just need to get you that once.
Yep.
Well, your credit card information is already here. I mean, all you gotta hit is like,
all you gotta do is double click and approve.
Honestly, for the Nintendo Switch, I didn't put my credentials in there or save it, so I would have to enter in my shit every time.
Yeah, that's a big brain move because otherwise it's like
that's smart.
Too easy.
That's smart.
League of Legends, like every time I'd log in, I'd be like, I do need a new skin.
Well, even in Destiny, I
hasn't
won't
gotten much love.
I won't finish playing until I open a stupid crate with junk in it from Tessa or Tess. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I do have some regulation points that have kind of affected us. There's a bunch of stuff in different countries that happened, but I think these were like the most notable. In December 2016, China introduced legislation that required games to publish the probability of the odds, which is why we know a lot of these percentages and stuff, because if they have to do it in China, you might as well just do it everywhere. Everyone already knows the numbers. They also made publishers limit the number of loot boxes that could be purchased in a day, and they also required them to increase the odds of rare items based on loot boxes that they open. So essentially, if I'm buying a bunch of stuff over and over, I will eventually get that rare item. It's not, you know, like
if you have a 2% chance of getting that item you want, you open one, the next one maybe it's like 4%, you know, then maybe it's 8%, you know, and so you keep getting closer and closer. Yeah, that's good. Steps, big steps.
And then in Japan, 2012, they banned the practice of complete gacha, which is kind of those games we were talking about earlier, where you have to get it has a predetermined set of number of items from a loot box, and these items would combine to complete and form like a rare and valuable item. I kind of think about it. Remember those like action figures? Like they had like a spare part in each one, and you had to get all 6 to build like a super action figure kind of thing.
Yeah,
that's how
Ultron, bro.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
remember X-Men had something like that, but and then there was other stuff, but the big one lately is Belgium. In April 2018, Belgium Commission ordered that loot box systems for Overwatch, CSGO, CSGO, I spelled it correctly this time. FIFA 18 needed to be removed, or the publishers would face criminal offenses up to $881,000, which is nuts.
Well, but that's all
Chump change for them.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering how much they would make it. Like, is it just a one-time? Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, I don't know how it worked. I mean, and I'll talk about it. But EA tried to fight him, but
I'm sure they crunched the
because of
numbers on that
this,
one.
other companies made their games with loot boxes, like cut it out for people like they wouldn't be able to buy it in Belgium. They many developers blocked the ability to purchase in-game currency and loot boxes. A notable one, which affects me because I'm playing this game, Nintendo straight up shut down Animal Crossing Pocket Camp and Fire Emblem Heroes to Belgium users. Like, they just didn't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
EA tried to fight back, but ultimately backed down and stopped selling packs with microtransactions to Belgium users. Yeah, they fought it for about a year, and I
remember hearing about that
because they didn't feel it was breaking any laws and stuff like that. So, and then they're above the law. In the U.S., we don't have any laws to regulate it. Representatives have tried different things against loot boxes, but nothing solid has come. I think there was about 4 separate bills that were introduced, but they never went through.
Yeah.
As far as like ESRB, which is kind of the regulation for ratings of video games, they don't consider. Yeah, well, they don't consider loot boxes a form of gambling. Excuse me. And then I'm going to read a blurb off of this that's pretty much verbatim. But the FTC held a public hearing on loot boxes on August 7th this year, 2019, addressing industry representatives and reviewing public comments submitted prior to the meeting. During the meeting, ESA, which is, I think, above ESRB, they stated that Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony are working on developing requirements for new and updating games using loot boxes, published on their consoles and stuff like that. So they need to disclose the odds, and there's a bunch of other publishers that are also on board with that. So I guess they're kind of self-regulating themselves, and and then I'll skip through this. Like, Nintendo issued a policy, like they're taking steps on their own. A big one, even though it's not like the traditional consoles, Apple made changes to the App Store in 2017 that required developers to publish games that include monetized loot boxes or whatever in exchange for real world funds. So they had to be like open. That's why we see it now. So I guess before you could just buy whatever, but now, like, they'll show you in-app purchases and stuff like that. And,
whenever you look at a mobile game, or even I think even on the Xbox store now, it'll say
even regular
in-game purchases.
Which is good.
And it doesn't say like
also
it's been going on for a while, but like I know at least in the Apple store, it's whenever you're trying to get something, it'll say "get now" instead of like free like it used to, because the game wouldn't be all free. You'd get purchases inside, so they changed it to "get" instead for just the wordage on it.
Yeah, I've not even downloaded stuff just because I go look at the in-app purchases. I'm like, cool, not paying $3.99 for a subscription model to your shitty fitness app. Thanks. I'll just figure it out on my own. So
Exactly.
but yeah, with all that, what do you all think about with the where things will go? Do you think that the video game industry will just regulate itself, or the government will have to step in? At least the U.S. government specifically.
I think you're already seeing them start to change course with this whole battle pass stuff, and they're just like, it's not worth the headache for the loot boxes.
I think
they can do essentially the same with battle pass, and it's a clean, easy way to get the whales and everything.
It really depends, because all of these companies are smart and they all want to make money, and the last thing they want is for the government to get involved. So I think if they really feel like they're going to fight a losing battle and they're going to lose and the government's getting involved, then they are going to step back. I think we're putting they'll backpedal to make sure that that doesn't happen. So if we ever get to, I don't think the government will ever get involved with handling these, and if we do, they'll backpedal and be like, okay, we'll correct ourselves, we'll stop doing this.
There has to be an insane uproar. Parents get really, really involved.
Yeah.
Or something just completely so egregious that it can't be ignored. Speaking of that, have you guys seen the new 2K game, that trailer they put out?
No.
No,
it's out now, the game itself, but oh my god, dude.
Wasn't like the trailer had nothing to do with like basketball, really?
It was all the monetization system. Packs. It had packs, right? You know, gotta have the player pack. It had like, do you know those games where you drop the ball and it bounces around?
Yeah,
Plinko,
yeah.
It showed off that.
Price is Right.
And then I kid you not, it had a straight up actual slot machine in the game.
Dude,
and they were advertising it and then they were showing off people getting all excited and players and stuff, you know.
Is this like NBA 2K?
Yeah, NBA 2K, the new one, has a dead-ass, just straight-up slot machine in the game. It's a slot machine. They're not even trying anymore, man.
God.
Okay, so Animal Crossing literally has a slot machine game in the game, so you can earn other crap with in-game currency. Like, you can't pay any money to do it, but still. Yeah,
even to the point of having that in there, the fact that they thought it was a good idea to have an advertisement totally tailored to how you can gamble in this kids basketball game
makes no sense.
It's insane.
Well, and that was one thing. Speaking of, the SRB, I think requires if there's real gambling, like it gets slapped with an adult-only rating, which no one wants. So
because the only thing that could be considered. The way they consider it real gambling is like a poker game where you use real money in the game to put up your forfeit or whatever you're putting up, right?
Yeah.
But in this, you're not using real currency, you're using this in-game currency that you happen to just buy with real money. But you're not using real money anymore.
Yeah.
You know, Overwatch did that in China where you got a pack if you bought currency, and that somehow was okay. You got a loot box if you bought currency or something as a gift. Like you weren't buying the loot box, but you were just getting it as a gift.
They're gonna find ways to work around it, and I, as much as I hate it, I think the only way we can truly stop this, because I don't think the U.S. government's gonna get involved much, even though I think the loot box stuff is bad when it comes to kids. I don't see it happening or a good way to enforce it, really.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if they do get involved, they'll abandon it quick and find some other way to make money. I mean, that's what they're already doing with Battle Pass.
I mean, the only reason why you'd even want to and put in the effort for it, if they were to go that route, is just because the video game industry is $100 billion+ industry. Yeah. So, like, if they could see how much money they can make on getting involved, then it would be something that they'd be interested in doing. But I don't think they're going to. And then
I don't think it's going to happen. Yeah, I think the only way we actually get rid of loot boxes is ourselves by not buying them.
Yeah,
and I don't see that happening.
Just like the whales, you still have the people that want it.
Again,
and even
it's that percentage.
Say, just don't buy them, and then it's not a problem anymore. And I still fall prey to it.
When they make it, the way they have described it in the past is that they make it in there expecting most people not to buy it. So, like, that 2% of the people would get involved. And then we recently got, going back to Destiny, we had Luke Smith talk about what the Eververse did for the game, and the money that was for the Eververse helped them fund making the 0-hour mission that everyone was able to go in and do, and that was a lot of fun. And so they're telling us that that's where that was going towards, like 0-hour and was it 0-hour the Black Spindle one?
No, that was...
So 0-hour was the Outbreak Prime one.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, that's how they explain, like, it's going towards missions like that. On things like that where it's like you can kind of hear where it's going towards, like...
I like that.
I like that.
I understand.
I think
tough, right?
The main issue with this is where it's going to constantly be a cycle, and it's going to be something we have to battle with, is where, let's say something happens and we're like, okay, we get rid of loot boxes. I've talked about this before, but all these companies are publicly traded, and if that means less money quarterly, that means you have investors pulling out, that means people losing jobs, and so it's going to be a never-ending battle, because it's like, it's always going to affect the people down below. It's going to affect the developers. Like, us not buying loot boxes and like putting a stance on it isn't going to affect like the guys up top making the money. It's going to affect the developers. Like, they're, oh well, because we didn't perform this quarter, we're going to cut 20% of our staff. Then it's like, fuck. It's like, what did we actually gain here?
And it's the thing, you see Epic and the insane amounts of money they're throwing around the Epic Game Store and all that now, because all that Fortnite money they made, and they didn't use loot boxes. I mean, they actually, well, the free to play, not the free to play, the story version or whatever, the single player. Well,
yeah.
PVE, that's the word.
The llamas, yeah, that had the llamas.
They do technically have loot boxes in that, but a lot of their money was on the battle royale, and that was just on straight up. You pay $20 for this one skin. Then I go on Smash Bros and pay that much for a full character, but
yeah, and the loot boxes have loot boxes, so you have to.
Oh god.
You have to win the loot box to open another loot box.
No.
And then you have to buy a key to open that loot box.
Yeah, I remember thinking Fortnite was going to be PvE, like super popular.
Well, it was.
It originally was.
The Battle Royale didn't come out until 3 months later. Yeah.
Yeah, but dude,
because
the
PUBG
Battle Royale was like way more.
They got inspired by PUBG.
Yeah.
It was funny because
it came out and it was the only Battle Royale that wasn't super jank or glitchy at the time.
Yeah.
So like when you play the single player game, like that costs money. I don't know if it still does, but that costs like $40 for the longest time. And it got to the point where so many people, because at least with like Xbox, a lot of like when you get those diamond achievements, it means like less than 1% of the player base or less than 5% of the player base has got this achievement. So I remember playing it because I already bought it earlier, the PvE version, and then just did a bunch of Battle Royale, went back, played the PvE, and like the very first mission, it's like you got to craft a gun. They give you all the materials for it. And you get an achievement for doing that, but it was a diamond achievement. It's like the very first thing you do because no one's playing the PvE; they're only playing the Battle Royale. So like less than 5% of people actually crafted this gun just buying the game outright.
The entire thing that game was built for ended up not being the selling point. And it's such a weird situation.
You could get like an hour into the game and get an achievement that like 0.0008% of players have done.
And then you have on the other end, and like, I'll shill this game always. I'm sure you guys already know what I'm talking about right now. Cause
Slime Soccer?
Yeah, Slime Soccer. That has no microtransactions, no loot boxes. It's amazing. What a great game. But you have Rainbow Six Siege, which I love that game to death. Tons of fun. It's great, right?
Yeah.
But, so that game came out, right? And it had, you could get your operators and all that, right? And $60 game, full game. Had in-game purchases, you could directly buy things, right?
Yeah.
So there were some skins out there. You could either use the in-game currency for some of them, and then there was a premium currency that you have to buy, right? So that still exists. You have that. There's certain items in the shop, or like the elite skins they have, which are these really nice, crafted skins that even your guns, your abilities, everything has a skin on it, not just the character, right? You can buy those. Which are cool, but you're paying for it. But then later on down the line, which is so weird because it didn't come out with this, they added loot boxes to the game, and there's R6 packs, and they're the worst. You get one item. You get one item, and you want to know how you earn these packs regularly? So you start out at like, and this is if you have the premium pass. I think it's even lower if you don't. At like 2.5% or something. And then you play a game, and if you win the game, you get a chance to roll at that 2.5% to get it. And
brutal.
Wow.
And if you don't get it, the percent goes up by like another 2.5 each time. I think it's even less than that actually. And even more or less if you don't have the premium pass that gets you all the operators for the year.
And that's only if you win.
And you get one item. One item. So if you lose, the chance will go up, but you don't get to spin at a chance of getting the pack. It's
Wow.
so bad. It's the worst thing ever. I love the game to death, but it's the
Hell
worst thing.
no.
Hail
And
to the no.
so you get one thing, and you can still get duplicates. And these duplicates give you shit all for cash too, just like Overwatch.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's
You know
the
who
worst.
did it?
And now on top of that, they're also adding a battle pass to add on
God
to this.
damn.
And
Just
you
do all
can
the things.
still buy a season pass to get all the operators right away.
Mhm.
Like, I love that game, but oh my god, is it over monetized for a full price game? It's disgusting. I hate it.
That sucks. You know, Forza
Jesus.
Horizon 4, I thought did a really cool job with their wheel spins. I feel like they give them out a ton, and you get like the super ones, you get like 3 items, and like just playing the game, you get like bonus crap. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
It feels better when you're constantly getting goes and it's well balanced. And there has been systems I can't think of any off the top of my head, but there have been games where it has been well balanced and you don't feel like you're getting cheated out too bad. You know, like Overwatches isn't terrible, especially with the arcade stuff you can earn them. But like, if you really want a specific skin, good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah, I would rather just pay money at that point. Like, you're gonna spend so much money on loot boxes for the random chance of getting one.
Now, anytime I've had a skin, like I've really wanted like a Diva skin or something, you know, because I would just use the coins I had. I'd always keep enough coins on deck to buy a seasonal skin, because otherwise I'd just get pissed off, and I don't want to grind loot boxes.
Always.
I think
He's at 6,300.
I think
It's weird,
overall, I'm okay 100% with the business model that Fortnite chose to do with the Battle Royale. But even with that, it comes in question where, like, if that is, let's say, the perfect model that seems to be acceptable by everyone, you can buy what you want. The price might be outrageous, but the game's free to play. The problem is that these $60 games need to take note that if they are going to go that route, you have to significantly lower the cost of the cosmetics that you're selling, you know? You can't sell a $20 skin for a $60 game. You just can't do that. You know, and also keep it cosmetic. And so it's just weird. It's just one thing where it's like,
It's weird
if we knew
buying-
the money, like if this was a bonus that was directly going to the pool for developers, I would be 100% for it, because then at least it's incentivizing them to work hard. It's like they spend everything and they're getting a portion of this money, but that's just not where it goes.
Like a lot of things, like fighting games, or I think like Rocket League does, is buying a certain skin or something like that. The money that goes into that skin that you're putting in goes to the pool for the competitive scene to make the prize pool bigger for that, and that helps build the game in a different way. I'm cool with stuff like that. But if you're buying a $60 game and the primary way to earn cosmetics or items, or in FIFA's case, actual playing advantages, the main way to earn it is through a loot box, it sucks.
Yeah.
It just sucks. It's not fun.
Hearthstone, they said that Hearthstone, you pretty much have to buy stuff to get anywhere in that game.
Oh yeah,
That,
it's
card
a card game, you know? Card games are built
Which
around
sucks.
the whole idea of going and buying a pack of cards. Unless you want to go spend the premium money to build your deck from a store, buying each card individually, which is difficult.
Yikes.
Yeah.
And with Hearthstone, it's online, so that's not going to happen at all. So
Yeah.
Dude, building my dragon deck, like, I just gave up because I was like, this is not happening.
It got expensive, huh?
Oh my god. As soon as I saw, like, how much dust or whatever, I was like, Jesus.
And that's the thing that's been like going after kids for a long time, like Pokemon cards. I
Oh,
remember
yeah.
every single kid, you had to have the holographic Charizard, dude. I
Oh,
never got my
man.
holographic Charizard.
I missed that whole thing.
Oh,
I had a
God.
Gengar.
I love
had a
that.
cool Gengar, and then some kid stole it from me.
I had a holographic Chansey, I think.
Whatever your name, I forget his name. What was his name? I don't know. I forget your name, but you know who you are. You stole my Gengar, you piece of shit. Give
You
it
know
back.
he's listening.
Ooh, he's listening
You
right
know
now.
he's listening.
I'm gonna write him.
Everyone's
He's
I'm
gonna
write him a
comment.
disgruntled email.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's gonna comment on the YouTube video. He's like, "Come get it, bitch." Yeah.
If you have a first edition, like holographic Gengar, send it to me, and I'll love you long time.
I don't want to be the one-upper or anything, but we knew someone that was like working for the printing press that made the cards, and we got like a bunch of sheets of like uncut
No,
holographics and
Still
stuff.
have those?
I wonder
Damn.
how much it's worth right now.
Yeah, I'll
Dude,
totally buy that off
that's
you.
crazy.
Not even
Crazy.
joking. I would totally buy that from you.
Dude, you'd have to be a slave for me for like 2 years.
All right, you got a deal, Sean.
Oh man.
I gotta find them.
So I want to
That's
ask.
crazy.
I want to ask a couple questions, but do you guys have more on loot boxes that you want to give? Curtis, excellent job on this, by
Yeah.
the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yes,
Yeah.
This was a lot of info. I do have a question to throw in the mix if you want.
Yeah. Throw it in.
Throw it in.
What ideas do you think would be alternative to loot boxes and battle passes? And what's the next thing you think that may come up? Say all this gets, you can't do it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
How else are they going to monetize, kind of thing? That's what I've been wondering. That's a tough one.
I think we kind of see some instances of it right now with cross access kind of thing. So like Destiny, I had to buy it for PC and Xbox in order to have like the
good
cross thing.
Yeah.
So they might have like that kind of licensing
Cross-save is
set up
definitely a
where
big
it's like,
one.
oh yeah, if you want to cross save, you have to pay this for the license to cross save, blah blah blah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, so you're buying it multiple times.
yeah, that could be something. If they did that for Monster
Awesome.
Hunter World, I would do it instantly though, even if it was like
Mhm.
$1,000.
Yeah, I mean,
That's a good one.
I think there's better ways. Even if loot boxes can continue to stay around, maybe there could be ways that you could incentivize where it's like at least the money's not just going to the shareholders. Like maybe it's like, hey, we need to sell 100,000 loot boxes, and you will get then we will have enough money to fund this project, and then they explain
that's
what the
cool.
project is. So it's kind of like a crowdfunding thing where it's like that's a cool thing to work for. At least
Yeah, I wouldn't
if
feel
we
as
do
bad
that,
then.
then we're gonna get this, and they can show this is what we have planned for, but we
Mhm.
need to sell this much or whatever.
You see,
And so it's
with
something you
that-
can kind of see okay, this is what this is going towards at
Wait,
least.
that's actually such a good idea.
That's what they do
Yeah.
with the fighting games and stuff like that, and I would be
Yeah.
more fine with it. I'd rather than a loot box have it be more of a specific thing.
Right.
I think the big problem with loot boxes is unless you're getting really lucky, they're just inherently not a fun mechanic as is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They're usually disappointing.
Yeah.
Double Fine actually did a couple games through crowdfunding. That's how
Mm-hmm.
one of their point-and-click games went through, which now Microsoft owns them, so they don't need that.
Right.
But that's how they were able to fund, and it was cool because the fans got to contribute.
I mean, anymore, I think
Have,
people just want to
interviews
justify
back.
their money. You
Yeah.
know, if anything, it's maybe we're contributing towards this. We know for a fact that if we put this money in and it goes through, we will get this. We will get what is promised to us here. If they
Mhm.
don't, then it's a whole other battle that they're gonna have to fight. But at least then it's okay, this is how we can pay developers or another team or whatever to work on this extra activity. And at least I think it would make me feel better about buying a loot box where it's I don't know where this money's going.
Well, it would. Yeah, I mean, it would feel like you're buying a DLC
Mm-hmm.
by getting it. I mean, obviously, some people may put different amounts of money, and which
Yeah.
is why I'd rather have it get a guaranteed skin or whatever than a loot box.
Yeah.
But I see what
Right.
you mean. I mean, but it would feel like you're just buying a DLC, and the company's getting their guaranteed money's worth
Mm-hmm.
with it. Now, the only problem is you don't totally know what that DLC is yet.
Right.
You're pre-ordering something that you don't know how good it'll be.
Well, it was just hypothetical. I mean, they could put an outline of what it is.
I like
know
it.
what
I
you're
think
saying.
it's a
Yeah.
better way to set it up than how it is now, and I would feel more comfortable putting money into that
Mhm.
if that's how it
Yeah.
was. But I mean, yeah, there's question marks, but
I want
I
it to
think it's
where
an
if I
interesting
buy if I buy a loot box, like a little pop-up says, "This money's going to Bob in rigging," or or something.
Yeah.
Like the 3D graphics
shows
guy
a
is getting
poor,
$2.95.
starving developer's face,
Yeah.
crying.
Yeah.
Arms
For
It's
every-
like Cards Against Humanity.
For every loot box I
Exact
buy,
shit.
the developer will match 50%. It goes straight to my 401k. There we go. That's a winning
Hey.
winning option right there.
I like it. There we go.
Oh man, Sam, I also want to congratulate you. You did a really good job playing a devil's advocate for what you truly believe on loot boxes for this episode.
Yeah, dude, that was
Good job.
convincing performance.
Yeah.
I was like, what
hope-
the heck is he about to congratulate me on? I haven't done it.
Like people,
hope we
people
were able to
actually believe
convert
that
you.
you don't like it, but like,
This was just an
Could've
intervention.
fooled me.
Actually, we
yeah.
tricked you.
all those rallies and
They're
stuff.
listening, guys.
We're here because we care about you, Sam.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Have a seat.
You guys ready for a couple questions I got for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hit me with
Yeah,
the.
yeah,
All right, all right. What would be the absolute worst name you could give your child?
Khaleesi.
Oh man.
Whoa.
Spunkle. Naming your
Spookle?
kids Spunkles. Yeah, that would be pretty bad.
Uh,
I think those pre-ending Game of Thrones names are pretty rough.
Yeah.
I think those are the worst
Reek.
it's been.
Little finger.
Dude, those Khaleesi ones are pretty bad. I don't know how true it was, but I think I saw an article. Dude just divorced his wife for naming their daughter.
oh my god.
I
I'm sure the
imagine
name Ramsey,
it's like
died out.
I'm sure it was like a conversation like absolutely not. She's like, well, I wanted to be Khaleesi. So I gotta tell you what. Here is the birth certificate. If you sign Khaleesi, also sign this. This is our divorce papers.
But you see, I think that was before, and then the show got to that point, spoilers, stuff happens, and
Yeah.
Whoa.
yeah.
The last one.
Oh,
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
All right.
Post.
If peanut butter wasn't called peanut butter, what would it be called?
Legume cream.
Legume.
I was gonna say
cream.
legume gravy.
Legume gravy. That was good too.
That's
The
actually
brown
that's
stuff.
really good.
Oh, that's reserved for the liquor.
Butter's creamy goo.
Oh,
No.
Oh.
Yo, have you seen the S&P and Me? It's like a South Park DNA test, and you take a little stupid quiz,
Yeah.
And they went through the trouble of making it, and it gives you like your percents of what each South Park character you're supposed to be.
That's funny.
shit.
My predominant one was I had Clyde Frog.
Oh no.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I'd be terrified if I turned out like a good majority percent Cartman.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be like, oh, shit.
It's hilarious because South Park, so they don't care. They were like super obvious questions that were pushing you to be Cartman, like, do
Yeah.
people respect your authority?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. It's
awesome.
beautiful.
All right, here's the one that relates to us a little bit. If life were a video game, what would some of the cheat codes be?
Oh shit.
Like cheat codes you'd want to have in real life,
Sure.
Or
Like, yeah, whatever.
Give me unlimited money. How do I?
yeah, right.
do that one?
Up, down, left, right, X, Y, A, B, and then you turn into an Apache helicopter.
Oh shit, nice.
I like it.
I'm going
Like-
for God mode, bro. Who's gonna stop me then?
Right?
I was gonna like tame it and go like no clips, so you could just be like through a wall or something.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty dope.
Like,
But if I got God mode, I just run into the wall anyway.
Max,
Like, ah, shit, my snacks are in the kitchen.
like max athleticism, just put in a cheat code so like I can like just sit there and eat ice cream,
yeah.
do all this stuff. Cheat code, shredded body.
It's like
give me that one.
It's like
The greatest
Skyrim, like you just have to
sports
jump
ball
in
player
the
of all
corner,
time.
like
Yeah.
Play every single professional sport.
Yeah,
that was like Morrowind, where like you would get attribute points for doing stuff. So like jumping.
Have you ever watched a Morrowind like speed run?
Yeah.
So there's this point, like the main part around the speed run at the beginning is you're going along, and like early on in the game you run into this character that just flies down from the sky and just dies on impact. Right?
Wow.
And this character's carrying these scrolls, and they're like super fast. Like it basically just raises your agility up to like 1,000,000. So when you jump in the sky, you just go miles and miles and miles into the sky. So people go find this character really quick, and they have some type of manipulation where they can fly it, so they get it, and they fly with this scroll all the way to the very end of the game. Somehow make it where they won't die when they hit the ground.
Oh, jeez.
And then you're right there at the end of the game, and then they just finish it. It's so funny.
Weird.
I'm like, I'm
It's an
sitting here
amazing
imagining
speed
like
run. If you need a
putting
good
it-
speed run to watch, that's one to watch. It's
I'm
hilarious.
imagining like putting in a cheat code like 100 sneak, and so I could just walk up to the bank. Give me $100,000, please. Here you go. Easiest bank
That'd be
robbery
good.
ever. We got time for one more.
Why not?
Yeah. We just kind of said that. Let's see. What? Okay. What would be the worst buy one get one free sale of all time?
Flu shot.
That was good.
That's really good. That's really good. Maybe like you. That's how they sell like pairs of shoes moving forward. You just buy one sneaker, then you get the second one free.
I mean, okay. That's pretty good, actually. Oh, God, dude.
I was gonna say something like kids, but you can't really buy kids.
Yeah, you can.
Well, not here, you can't. Bro, this is a hard one. I can't think of anything.
Yeah, that was tough. I think Sean did good on that one.
Yeah, Sean had it right away. He's thought about this.
Right? I'm on my A game. I looked
I
at
keep
the.
thinking of things, and I'm like, nah, that would be great. I would love to have two. I'll just give one to my friend. Like
Legume gravy.
that good old legume gravy.
Legume gravy and jelly.
I can think of like getting food, but you're by yourself. And, like you just have 2 meals and nothing to do. Like,
Right.
Well,
still, you just
no,
save leftover. This is
That's an absolute win.
I mean, depending on your level of inebriation, I mean, could like fuck you like with shots, like buy one get one free, and you're just
Oh God, dude!
Absolutely.
I
You
would
could do
make
that
it.
now.
I wouldn't make it home.
Okay, if I
win.
was
That's
if I was Sean, then it would be pasta.
Absolute loss.
fucking pasta snob. Oh, shout out to one of our good friends, Spence, and his wife that are now out there eating all the pasta in Italy, and they stopped there in New York. Sean, did you get a chance to did you run into him? Did you meet up with him at all?
I did not. Will
Wow.
do. I didn't get a chance there.
Wow.
Dude,
Jeez.
I'm a busy dude. I got things to
You're
do.
letting Will be the #1 Mahoney? Come on, man.
I know.
Oh,
I'm
shoot.
so
I
busy.
saw
I
that.
did. That was crazy.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
crazy.
that's-
Dang.
I'm in
Wow.
danger.
Well,
Watch your feet just boom in. It's like, well, I guess
That
you
would
got
be-
struck by lightning.
that would be terrifying.
Oh my God, dude, don't say
Terrifying.
that. I'm scared right now. I'm turning my light off.
We're gonna see it again. We're gonna see another flash here. Oh boy, you
know,
guys got
one
anything
time-
else? Oh no, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say one time I was recording lightning with my phone and it freaked out the sensor and it was just like white rectangle, and, like it couldn't keep up with it. It was weird. So
Damn.
definitely video it.
You guys, you gonna get that new iPhone Max 11 Pro Super
Mhm.
Plus
Nope.
Oh yeah.
with the 3 cameras? You got the normal, wide, and ultra
mega
wide.
too.
Yeah, I can't
I
wait
just
to
wanted-
shave myself with my iPhone.
One of these days. One can only hope.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm on it. I already pre-ordered my watch. I'm on the Apple bandwagon. So.
No, I know.
All right, boys, I'm gonna be real with you. I gotta go to the bathroom.
All right. Well, we'll
Podcast,
close
everyone.
it out. This was a good one.
That's nasty.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for tuning in. This has been the Wordness and Nerdness podcast. Appreciate you all listening, and we will catch you again here next Thursday. Until then, stay nerdy, friends.
Perfect.
Later.